Hello, everybody. We are now live. Welcome, everybody. I see that some of you have been here chatting amongst yourselves. Uh, Good afternoon. I hope that it is nice where you are. Here, we are having a bit of a heat wave. It's like in the 85 to 90, depending on where you are. Yeah, I've got my window open and you may hear some noise. You're going to hear seagulls. There's no question you're going to hear seagulls. I hear a float plane out there right now. You might hear a ferry horn honking or whatever they're called, or the occasional siren. So it is what it is. So we'll just leave that window open. Otherwise, we won't be able to breathe in here. So, welcome everybody. I'm excited to do my second ever live stream on YouTube. Um, I was going to discuss a question that had been asked of me outside of all this, but I thought I would address it for you guys because it does happen from time to time. And before I go into that, if you do have a question, because there's so many comments and because there's so many comments and things that come up, uh, if you could put like maybe two or three question marks in front of your question, and then it'll help me visually be able to see which ones are questions. And that way I won't have to really dig through here and stare at my screen instead of saying hello to you guys. So what I'm going to talk about that came from somebody else was meat aversion. And I don't know if any of you have ever had meat aversion. And basically, what that is when somebody absolutely cannot face eating meat. And I actually had somebody email me, to my email address, which you can find on YouTube or whatever. And they were really concerned because they have not been able to eat meat for 2 or 3 weeks, and they were looking for some ideas. They were worried about going off and everything. So, I mean, I just want to say that if you had, like, it does happen. It's not something that should derail you from doing ketovore, or carnivore. It is something that can come up. It actually came up for me back in June when I was quite sick. I went through a period of about 2 weeks where I couldn't eat meat. And I have heard from other people, like other carnivore coaches and ketovore coaches, that it is a common thing, and it can happen to people when they're first starting, or when they've been in, say, for 6 months, or like me, it can happen when you get sick. I had COVID, and so I just could not eat meat for a couple of weeks. And so basically, there's lots of choices that you have. You could make bone broth. You could have, like, say, scrambled eggs, or any type of, ground. Maybe some people could do ground beef if they could tolerate that. I wasn't able to tolerate ground beef. It seemed like meat was a no-go. For some reason, I was able to do sardines, so there's an option. Try seafood, but just try different textures. Have dairy if you can tolerate it, because that will give you some protein. Have eggs if you can tolerate them. But know that it does pass. That was the main point I wanted to get across. That if you do have a meat aversion of some kind, it will pass eventually, and then you can go back to enjoying your ribeyes again, or whatever it is that you like, whatever kind of meat that you normally like. So just wanted to get that out of the way and answer for that person. So if you've ever had any experience with meat aversion that you want to share, then put that in the comments. So I am just going to take a look at a few of the comments here. Look at how many there are already. That is crazy. Some of you have been here since like 3:30. Thank you for waiting for me to come on. That is fantastic. Yes, we have meteor showers. The weather is beautiful for anyone. I saw somebody mentioning the meteor showers, clear skies. Find an area that doesn't have too many lights, and should be fantastic. Let's see what else have we got here. Oh, wow, a lot of people are it's warm, isn't it? Melissa, you're so funny sometimes. Do we have to pay extra for the seagull sounds? I might charge admission to that. We'll see. Hello, low carb spin. Hi there. I don't know which one of you is watching. Uh, Welcome. And if you guys have not checked out Low Carb Spin, go check out their YouTube channel. Give them some views. They have some great imaginative recipes. And yeah, thank you for coming, you guys. Okay, let's see what else have we got here for questions. Oh, thank you. I have an additional 1,100 followers from last week. Well, thank you for keeping track. I just honestly had no idea. But I do know, I have heard that if you hit the like on this video while it's going live, that it goes out to more people out there. So if you haven't hit the like already, I would appreciate that very much if you would do that. Thank you so much. Christina, yes, 10 months in and you've always loved meat. Isn't that lucky? Well, and when I first heard about meat aversion, I almost doubted if that was even a thing. I didn't even, how could anyone not like meat? But, apparently it's quite common. So, at least you'll know, Christina, what to do if you happen to come across having meat aversion all of a sudden because you're sick or something like that. So, uh, but lucky, yeah. And you can also fast too. I believe so chaffles, dairy, cheese, fast when sick. Yes, absolutely. Those are all great suggestions, Lynn. Thank you. Okay. Rose tried the egg salad with cod liver. So that was a video that came out last week after my first live stream. And thank you for trying it. You added bacon mayo and bacon bits. I bet that was good. I'm going to have to try that. That sounds really good. I do have another video coming out tomorrow. And what did I? Oh yes, what I did in that video. I had quite a bit of different kinds of leftover meat in my fridge, so I showed my 3 favorite ways to use up leftover meat. So, if if you're around tomorrow on YouTube, check that one out. Liz Marie had COVID in mid-July and she still has meat aversion. Oh my goodness, a whole month. So maybe you can give us some ideas as to how you're coping with that. Are you what are you eating? How are you managing? I feel bad that that's happening for you. But yeah, that's awful. Okay. So to find cod livers, well, that is I have ordered mine. The first time I tasted them, it was a big leap of faith because I had to order them from Amazon. Here in Canada, I could not find single cans, so I ordered a whole case and of 12, and luckily I liked them. But since then, I actually have found 2 places in Canada. Now, if any of you are in the US and you can find them, like if you know where to find them, like a single can, please put it in the comment below. So I here on the island, I have found them at Fairway Market, and I've also seen them when I was still back in Langley, I saw them at the Superstore. You can buy them in single cans. So Superstore was a really good price. Fairway Market, I think it was 6 something if I remember correctly. Other than that, you've got to order them online. So hopefully, like if anyone else in Canada has found them somewhere else, please let me know. Okay. Danny has a question. Are you still doing your iodine? I remember you were adding it to your coffee. Are you adding it to your lemon water now? So I am still technically doing my iodine. I forget sometimes. Like the coffee was a real routine. So I would have my coffee, I put in my few drops of iodine, and it was like clockwork every day. Not having coffee has thrown me off, and I for some reason the idea of adding it into lemon water bothers me. I don't know why. I'm sure I should try it just to see. I seem to be able to, like, if I have element, I can put it in the element. I bone broth, I put it in bone broth. I'm kind of switching things up. Decaf coffee, no problem. So I've kind of fallen out of the routine, but I'm taking it, about half as much as I used to take it. Like before it was with my coffee routine, it was every morning without exception. And now it's hit or miss. And I attribute that to it's a different routine. I'm doing something different. I just don't know. I feel okay with doing it sort of intermittently. I believe I'm getting in enough iron even with doing that now. Before I kind of felt nervous that I was not getting enough iron, and with my mom having dementia and all the other illnesses she had, my uncle had encouraged me to, he's a chiropractor. He had encouraged me to add iodine, and so I did. And I know a chiropractor isn't, not a real medical doctor, but he did a lot of research into it and just had a lot of personal knowledge about dementia patients and things like that. So I trust his judgment on it. So, and Dr. Barry is a big fan also of iodine. Okay. Connie has an egg aversion periodically. Okay. I haven't had that either, but I'm sure that it could happen. Oh, Patty has an update. She started carnivore because of food allergies, autoimmune, general health, and weight loss. Last week, she saw a rheumatologist to address her low grade fever issue of 27 years. So, is it going well for you, or okay? Well, let us know how that goes. Thank you for letting us know that that's why you started carnivore. I know a lot of people start carnivore because of autoimmune issues. It seems to be, I mean, Amanda from Carnivorous Me, she started. If you haven't checked out her channel, please do. But she started because of autoimmune issues, and so I think she's had a lot of good success with her symptoms and flare-ups, and I have heard the same thing from others as well. So, yeah, definitely keep it up. Okay, so just back to the cod liver for a moment. Rose did order some, and she could get 5 cans. So yeah, that's what I felt when I got the 12 cans. Thank goodness I liked them. I was a little nervous. Oh, Patty. Okay. She wasn't quite finished her comment. She had it in 2 comments. All of the tests for autoimmune have come back normal. Yes, that is amazing. I have been led to believe I may have a parasite issue. That's interesting. So we've ordered supplements to take care of that. Well, let us know how that goes. I would love to hear more about that in the future. That's interesting. And I have heard of other people having that as well. So I wanted to add something else about the egg and the cod liver mix, because I actually really liked that egg yolk cod liver combination. And I am going to try next time to have I'm going to chop up the whole boiled eggs, like egg salad, and use the can of cod livers that way, so that it's cod liver egg salad rather than just in the yolk, adding it to the yolks and making the deviled eggs. So I mean, it should taste very similar. I think that will be good. Oh, thank you for popped over from Neely's live chat. Yeah, I think she's also doing a chat on Sundays, but I just don't know what time. So obviously she's I don't know if she's doing it at the same time or if she fluctuates times. And I don't know what I'm going to do going forward with this timing as well. I'd love to hear. I would like to do a weekly live. I just don't know what works best for everybody. I kind of think that I'm hoping that this time might work well for people. I'm on the West Coast, and I feel like many of the people that are watching here are from more east than I am, although some of you, it's 4 o'clock here or 4:15 by now. So yeah, let me know if there's different times that, what works for you guys, if this is okay. Just not sure. Hi, Diana. Thanks for being here as a new subscriber. You've been doing keto carnivore, moving into carnivore now. It really is a spectrum, isn't it? I mean, I started low carb, then keto. I did find carnivore along the way somewhere there, but I wasn't ready for it. Went back to keto, then ketovore, now carnivore. So and there are times when I kind of move back a little bit. Vacations are, an example. Although I haven't been on one in a while. I don't know if I'm going to be on one in a while. There's too much to do around here. So, but it is a bit of, it is a spectrum. All of it is a part of, as Dr. Barry says, it's all a part of the proper human diet. So I have had sometimes people, I get the feeling they almost feel bad if they're carnivore and they go back to ketovore or keto for a while. Don't. I mean, can you imagine if everybody ate like that and ditched that sad American diet, standard American diet with all the fast food and processed foods? Even if they were just low carb, just imagine how healthy everybody would be. So never feel bad if you are going back and forth a little bit. I don't. Okay. Renee, has your new place got air conditioning? We're okay with the heat right now. We are getting a heat pump, and that is going to help. That comes, I was hoping we would have it by now, but it looks like we're getting it the first week of September or so. We actually, because this place it's an old house heated with an oil tank / combination gas furnace. We had a little bit of issue with the insurance company getting insurance on this place because of that. Also, I just think with the way weather seems to be getting more extreme, it's a good idea to have a heat pump, and which helps to cool as well. So I'm going to be happy to have that. Hello. Lots of Canadians on here today. Thank you for telling me where you're from. So Jennifer, who's in Ontario, she can buy it. She can buy a can of cod liver at the Superstore, No Frills, Metro, Food Basics. Well, the only one we have here in the West is Superstore. Oh, we have No Frills too. So yeah, check out those places, you guys from Canada. That's it's amazing that now maybe people are asking, maybe people are going into these stores and asking for cod livers, and maybe that's why these stores are, finally getting them. Okay, so Jay says they trust their chiropractor more than their GP. They're more current on latest medical research. Some of them are very progressive with holistic health as well, I find. And my uncle is one of those. Although he can be a little bit far out there sometimes too, but generally speaking, I think a lot of the chiropractors that I've met are more, they kind of look at the whole person. And, thank goodness they can't prescribe medications. At least they can't here in Canada. They don't prescribe medications. They look for other alternatives to medication. So I appreciate that about chiropractors. I've always been a chiropractor patient for many, many years. Oh, somebody from Mission. That is in Western Canada too. Hello there, Hope. And just finished watching Neely. Well, that's kind of cool that you guys went straight from watching Neely here. I'm going to actually talk to her and see if her and I can do one together sometime, or at least do an interview. I really like her. I got to meet her at KetoCon. She is so nice. Yes, Danny, I have been meaning to make the Melba toast crunchies. I've now have all my appliances unpacked and ready to go, even up until a couple of days ago. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. There's like three or four more totes that are labeled kitchen stuff. So I don't quite have everything, but I have all. I've got my dehydrator, got my blender, I've got of course, my air fryer came out first. I've got my meat slicer. I've got, I think I have pretty much everything now. So, okay. Ethel, do you feel better on carnivore or keto way of eating? Every time I did something new, I felt fantastic. So, I don't know if you know me or not. I don't recognize your name. But sometimes on here people have different names than, what I would know. So I have lost about 140 pounds, and I did that starting with low carb, and I felt fantastic doing low carb. It was a dirty low carb. I still felt, I mean, dirty low carb was 1,000 times better than what I was eating up till that time. You don't get to be over 300 pounds by eating healthy, nutritious food. I can tell you that. You get there by eating tons of carbs, tons of processed stuff, all that stuff. So yes, I felt better just switching to low carb. Then I switched to keto and I felt better. So that was good. And the reason I went more keto was because I had so much weight to lose, and at first it went very well, but then, it just kind of leveled out. So keto it was. Then I became and it was dirty keto still, but then I became very clean keto, and I felt better for cleaning it up. There are certain things that I know make me feel bad. They cause inflammation for me. Too much dairy, too many nuts and seeds. The almond flour was a big killer. I mean, I just felt really like I was making all kinds of almond flour, coconut flour, dessert. Now there's that bamboo flour out, and I worry about people are going crazy ordering all that bamboo flour. I'm worried about people having gut issues about that, because I certainly developed a lot of gut issues from eating almond flour, coconut flour. Not going to touch the bamboo flour that's out there. But you know what? If you do, I'm not going to judge you, because I did it myself with the coconut flour and the almond flour. I had to try it. It was just one of those things. Learned my lesson. It could be perfectly fine for some of you out there. It could be perfectly fine. So I will never judge anyone for doing that. But just be careful if you have gut issues. Be careful trying some of these new flours that are supposedly zero carbs. They aren't really. They're very high in fiber. And that, if you suffer from I can never say the word, diverticulitis. If you suffer from things like that, IBS, any of those types of chronic kind of inflammatory things, those flours, made, fiber, any type of fiber is going to affect that. So just be careful. And back to your question about feeling better on carnivore or keto, definitely feel 100% better than all of that doing carnivore, keeping it really simple. You know, as boring as it sounds, eating burgers, steak, some butter, some tallow, occasional bacon, I just feel great. I mean, that is when I feel my best. Sometimes I slide back into too much dairy, and then I go, okay, yeah, gotta move. I gotta clean that up and focus on the meat, especially the ruminant meats. We're all different, so do test these things on yourself. Don't just listen to me. Just you have to try it, see how you feel. Okay. Am I still using PMSF? That's protein modified, no, protein, PSMF is protein sparing modified fast as an occasional tool? Or is higher fat more successful for you from a weight loss point of view or for any other reason? Okay, so protein sparing modified fast, I keep wanting to put in the occasional day for that. I sometimes will go, okay, this week I'm going to do a PMSF day. And then I can't do it. I get to a point where I can't do it, which is kind of weird. I it's because emotionally and mentally I feel more stable on higher fat. So for a while there, for those of you who have been following me and followed my Tuesday talks last year, I did 90 days of very high fat carnivore, 80% or more. There were some days I did, in the 90s of percentage fat from calories carnivore. I felt fantastic. But I didn't lose weight. I stayed the same throughout. I was eating about 2,000 calories a day, maintained my weight, which is not bad in my age. I'm 65, because I know that a lot of people are doing very low calories and can barely maintain their weight. So I believe that, I believe getting all that nutrition, getting all that fat, it helps me to maintain a weight loss. It gives me mental and emotional stability. But I have still 40 pounds to lose. And so I am going to get some one-on-one coaching. I'm actually, I don't want to say who yet. Some of you know who, but I don't want to say who, just because I want to work it all out with them first. And then I'll let you guys know who I'm going to be doing that with and what it's going to look like and everything. I think I need some accountability. And this has been hard the last few weeks with moving, because it's too stressful for me to even think about right now starting to, weigh and measure and be accountable. I haven't even stepped on the scale and who knows how long. So all that's coming to an end. That's like, it's been like free party time here. But I mean, it's been good. Like, that's where the simplicity of meat only comes in. You don't have to worry about cooking a lot of stuff. Though I have been cooking some vegetarian stuff for the kids. They're renovating the suite downstairs, and the studio outside. So yeah, I've been doing some cooking, but not for me, for them. Anyways, I love high fat. It makes me feel really good, but I have to find a balance between high fat and protein sparing, which I do recommend every now and then, not every day. I wouldn't do it more than a couple times a week. And especially if you have any kind of past disordered eating, all that weighing and measuring, it can really trigger that for some people. I've heard. So just, yeah, go in informed and, certainly try it out, but just be careful with it to not do it too much. And Maria and Craig will say that you don't do it every day. You just do it as a tool. It's another tool in your toolbox. Thank you, not a sheeple. Is that sheepy or Sanel? Sheeple. You mentioned that you have a reaction to raw onions. Is this a lifelong issue or just a recent development? So it is semi-recent. So it's raw onions, raw garlic, uh, raw, like vegetables that are in the nightshade family, black pepper. Those are a few of the things that I react to quite strongly. Now, that kind of went along with going off a 15-year prescription that I had. It's a drug it's a generic drug. I can't remember the name right at the moment, but it's like Nexium. In fact, I started off on Nexium, 40 milligrams a day, for acid reflux and GERD symptoms. I was on that for 15 years. And then I started hearing and reading about the links between that drug and dementia, Alzheimer's, among other things. And then, having cared for my mom with Alzheimer's for the last 5 years of her life, I decided I needed to get off that drug. And actually, my doctor tapered me down. She helped me to taper off of it. Then, when it came to the last 20, like, she tapered me down to 20 milligrams, and then 10 milligrams involved cutting tablets in half. And I thought, oh, I'm just gonna go off. And so it was during that transition that these foods started to bother me. It could have been a coincidence. It could have, or like, in my mind, I feel like that being on that drug masked the symptoms of the root cause, which was that these plant products, pepper, onions, garlic, nightshades, all of my favorites, that they were the problem, and that they are toxic to some people like me. And so, if I don't eat them, I don't get the symptoms. If I eat them, I get the symptoms. So that is basically the reason that I'm not eating them anymore. Okay. Janet took an iodine test and was shocked it was good levels, even though she doesn't supplement or eat fish. Well, that is great. I just curiosity, do you use iodized salt? So I think for some of us who don't use iodized salt, we've switched to sea salt or, Redmond salt, that maybe we're not getting enough. And maybe I would love to know what kind of test you took. I took the home test, which is putting a couple of drops and seeing how quickly it fades. And that shows, how does that work? I can't remember now. It's been a while. But if it stays for more than an hour, you have enough iodine. And if it disappears quickly, you don't. I don't know how reliable that is. I'd love to know. That's the test I took. Oh, Rose, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. I am looking for the question. A lot of people seem to like the 4 o'clock time. So that's good. Glad to hear that. Oh, chatting with Chelves. Hi, chatting with Chelves. How are you doing? I have watched a couple of your videos. Keto chow, is it acceptable on carnivore? Well, so they do have now keto chow core, which is made from beef protein. So and they also have sweetened and unsweetened. Now, when I was at KetoCon, they gave me some packets to try, and to be honest, I haven't had a chance to try them yet. But I did unpack them with my recent move, and I've got them set aside because I want to take a look at them and give them a try, potentially use my Ninja Creamy to make ice cream out of them for the kids who are now downstairs. And they seem to have endless appetites for all kinds of things. And I'm thinking maybe they'll try this. It'd be better than the ice cream from the store. Anyways, so I don't really know what to advise you on that. The flavored keto chows, obviously, they've got, those sweet tastes. They're definitely not optimal for carnivore, many people would tell you. Although I do know some people who are ketovore and they have the occasional keto chow. So this is really a personal decision of yours. I would, whatever gets you through, because whatever, you're new, you're like brand spanking new, you're at the beginning of your journey. I would support you in whatever you do to make it easier for yourself in the beginning, with the eye of later on trying to eliminate that kind of thing. There is nothing wrong with, in the beginning, using, the various carnivore recipes that are out there, like Chris Cooking Nashville. He's got some amazing recipes that are good for people who are new and trying to get used to this new life with meat. So keto chow might be something like that for you. In the beginning of carnivore, there were times when I used some sweeteners here and there. I'm finding the further I go, the less I need it. I can go weeks and months now just eating meat and being perfectly happy. So it's a journey. And so I'm just giving you that. And I wish nothing but the best for you, and hope you just, keep watching people on YouTube who are doing carnivore. I find that really motivates me to keep going. So, um, cooking or chatting with Chels. She has a brand new YouTube channel. She's just starting out. And so if you have any support, you can go over there and check her out, and give her some encouraging words. Thanks for your question. Electric Kitty would love to find a carnivore egg roll. Anyone out there have a recipe? I don't have a recipe off the top of my head, but I'm making a note because I love a challenge, and I love looking for ideas like that. And actually, I just had a thought of making. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to do that here because I start to get distracted, and off I go. So let's see here. Jay, do not feel bad. Wait, do not feel bad for being keto or low carb. I lost a lot of weight being keto, low carb. It got me to carnivore. You don't have to feel bad. It's a journey, it's a spectrum. You are doing better than 90% of the people out there in the world who are going through the drive-through and getting those French fries. Thank you, J and B. Yes, hit the thumbs up. It does help the channel. PPE says that their autoimmune illnesses go into remission on carnivore: psoriasis, arthritis, anxiety, depression, long COVID, pre-diabetes, etc. Yes, I know a lot of people who have those things. They have those things. And I just hope and pray they find carnivore to deal with those things. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, I thought I had that comment up there. Thank you for sharing that, PPE. Karen is wondering if carnivore would help her arthritis, IBS, and lupus, 75 years young. I'm going to say it would help a lot. And you didn't mention what you're doing now, but I would try it. It's definitely worth a shot. What have you got to lose? If you have those conditions, what have you got to lose? So give it a try. Okay, let's see here. It is. I don't live on the ocean, but we're not far away. We can obviously hear the seagulls. I would say if I was walking, right now my knee is a little bit shot, so I'm not going to do this, but I'm thinking it's about 20 minutes to walk there. But we're close enough that we hear the seagulls. We see the float planes going over the house. And, if you're going over the Johnson Street Bridge, sometimes they just swoop right over you on that bridge. It's very weird. And we can hear ferry boats and cruise boats when they honk their, what is their horn? Is it a horn? Do they honk their horn? Or somebody probably knows what that's called when they make that loud booming sound as they leave the fair or the harbor. Okay. Oh, yes, someone here is Sandra is in Australia, so 4 p.m. is 7 a.m. for you. Wow. Mike got the cod livers on Amazon. That is where I get mine as well. So, yeah, I like them, so now I know I can do it. Oh, thank you, Renee, so much for the super sticker. Appreciate it very much. Hello from Puerto Rico. Hello there to you, Lisa Marie Rufo. Mm, nice to meet you. Okay, I'm not sure what that question might be for somebody else because I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. So maybe this has something to do with it. So yes, so those of you searching for cod livers in your supermarkets, don't look in the canned seafood aisle. Go to the ethnic or international section. That is the only place I've ever been able to find them in a superstore or in a grocery store. Da-da. Okay. Christine. She feels great on carnivore. Her gut gets happy. Swelling goes down. Edema in feet is totally gone. Yes, that is one of the things that really helped. I had some edema going on in my legs, and these hot summer days, they would swell up. I also had plantar fasciitis, and one day I realized when I got out of bed, it was like, wait a minute, when's the last time I felt any pain in my foot? It was like a couple of years. So, uh, yeah, it's amazing what the types of things that carnivore will fix, as well as ketovore. I was on ketovore when I had that realization about plantar fasciitis. 4 months carnivore. Northern Ontario. Hello, Canadian girl 296 from Northern Ontario. Thank you for watching my videos, and I'm so happy you're getting results with your RA. That is amazing. Oh, Neely mentioned. I know you said Nikki here, but I think you meant or you it's just a spello. I'm sure a typo. So that was nice of her. She's so nice. Okay. Joan used to live here in Victoria, likes the sound of the gulls. Yeah, but sometimes they go all night long. Like the first night that we were here, I was like, I didn't know that seagulls were a nighttime bird. I could hear them at midnight that night. It was very weird, but I'm totally used to it now. I don't hear them at all at night anymore. Hello, Judy. Nice to see you here. She's doing Dr. Westman's 20 carb or less, and a lot of people do that. Ketovore fits in well with that for the different challenges. Yes, it does. And even when she changes it up, she sticks to under the 20 carbs, and that's amazing. Thank you. Copper's Kitchen, Melissa. She within 2 weeks, her arthritis pain, severe degenerative arthritis pain began to subside. That is amazing. I have heard so many people talk about that kind of thing. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. Is there another option for Element? Yes, there is. Can only be bought at their website. Yes, which really sucks for Canadians, for sure. So Element, and I will link that below. They have a on their blog, on their website, they have the recipe for making their formula. Like they have their exact formula. You can duplicate their little packets by adding your own flavorings, sweetener or no sweetener or whatever. So I will link that below once we're done here because you can make your own. I used to do, before I knew about Element, I used to make my own electrolytes as well. I have a DIY recipe on my website. Basically, you just want to make some kind of a drink that contains, potassium, magnesium, sodium, and it will taste a little bit salty, because that's what we need. Our bodies deplete sodium when we sweat. We're not, because we're not eating processed carbs, we're not getting some of those things that, like, we are a little bit imbalanced. And so there's definitely alternatives. In fact, a lot of people, if you Google DIY electrolyte drink, you're going to find all kinds of recipes. But I will link those two recipes for sure below in the description here. John says everyone decided to go live tonight around the same time. Yeah, I just don't know when other people are doing it, so it's uh you know it is what it is. I mean, I totally get that people are going to be watching different things, and I may try different times, but I think I'd like to do just a regular weekly time, and then throw in the odd one here or there. So. Redmond's Relight. Yes, I wanted to mention that one too. There are some people that really like the Redmond's Relight. So thanks for mentioning that one. Low carb spin. We love that you've introduced us to some amazing carnivore recipes. So I'm glad you're trying the meat toasties with caraway. Ooh, I bet that was good. Okay. So remember, if you do have a question, put the two or three little question marks in front so that I can spot them quickly. Pat from Moncton. Hello, another fellow Canadian, regarding iodine. It was, oh yes, so spread some on your arm. How to tell if you're low in iodine, spread a bit on your arm. Okay, so is it the type of thing where, what I was saying before, if it disappears quickly, then you're low? That's what I understood it to be. So maybe you can elaborate on that. Okay. Aloha. Oh, I hope you are safe away from those horrible fires. You have been keto for 3 years. You're doing 80%, 20% carnivore keto today with soft boiled eggs, Italian sausages, butter, carnivore bread with ground turkey for lunch. Amazing. I hope you're feeling great. So I do eat fish. I love fish. I eat a lot of fish. In fact, the last time I did BBBE, which is beef, bacon, butter, and eggs, I also ate salmon and sardines. So I called it BBBES. And now I understand that Dr. Barry also says if he could change anything about BBBE, it would be to add sardines. So he's on board with it. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking for questions. And where are we for the time? I do not see. Hmm? Okay, 48 minutes. Now, I sort of, when I start these things, I have an hour time frame. So if there's questions, though, I'd like to answer them all. So I'm looking for those question marks when I'm scrolling through here. J and B asked if anyone knows the type of scale that tracks fat loss separate from overall weight loss. So I do have one, and I really like it. So it's the Withing scale. It's called Body Cardio, and it's spelled Withing. It had good reviews. I mean, it would be nice to get one of those true body composition scales where you hang on with your hands and you stand on it, and it does all that amazing stuff. But when I read the reviews on this particular one, they were fantastic. So I did spring for one. They're more expensive here in Canada. I can't remember the American price. I got it from Amazon, but I will link it below so you can at least take a look at it, and you can then see, if you can find a better deal than Amazon somewhere. That's great. If you order it with my link, I do, earn Amazon commissions on those things, but it doesn't change what you pay. I appreciate the support for those of you who do use my Amazon links to order things. Thank you very much. Just want to make sure I say that. Okay. Oh, more Canadians. Creston. Wow, you guys are from everywhere. Okay, so somebody is recommending the 8 electrode body fat scale. I will look into that one too. Thank you, Lori. That was exactly the drug that I was on for 15 years. So, Pula, am I saying that right? Do I still do my daily chart for ketones and blood sugars? Will you ever do videos with your charts again? I enjoyed those. Yes, I will do them again. Uh, I have recently moved, and so in April, I stopped tracking in April because I went on a 2-week road trip. I drove all the way from here to Texas to attend KetoCon and drove all the way back. Then immediately put the place up for sale for the move. So since April to now has been nothing but packing, moving, anything except tracking, calories, blood sugar, ketones. I have unpacked all of my things now. I have a scale now. I have all that. In September, I'm going to be doing some serious tracking, weighing, measuring because I want to, go to the next level. I've managed to, I feel pretty good, but I do want to lose that last 40 pounds. And so I will be starting with my charts again. Once I start tracking and charting, you will see it. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, but that's going to be a couple weeks from now, September. Christine, she loves nightshades, but yes, I love them too. They form my favorite vegetables. PPE. Do I have autoimmune illnesses? No, I do not have any that I know of. So I think I probably would know, but I had a lot of things go a lot better with not having processed foods and nuts and that sort of thing. So high blood pressure is one of mine. Plantar fasciitis, inflammation in my joints, that sort of thing. The GERD, acid reflux, those sorts of things. Sometimes if I'm a little bit fast and loose with my food, or if I eat restaurant food, that kind of thing, I can have some of those things come back. So try to keep it clean. That's what I try to do. Okay, so Janet answered her question. She does not use iodized salt. Okay, good. So you have a good supply of iodine. That's awesome. Don't know where it's coming from, but who knows? Something else you're eating, maybe, or, you know. Okay, black pepper and nightshades. They bothered me as I got older. This is from Lori. Then was bad after I got off Nexium as well. Can still do a small amount if well cooked. So yeah, I have found like tomatoes were a real issue for me, raw tomatoes. And there have been times when I've put in a little tiny bit of cooked like tomato sauce, like a very small amount, say on a carnivore pizza. I can get away with that. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those things where can't do it anymore. There is Sandra, thank you for bringing that up. There is an anti-caking agent in the iodized salt, in case people didn't know that. So, yeah, Deanie, she gains every time she uses her bamboo fiber. It's probably some bloating, because it is a lot of fiber. Yvonne, keto chow is the reason you're not fully carnivore yet. You're keto chow vor. I love it. That's okay, Yvonne. You are doing so well. Yvonne, you inspire me. So I can't remember how much you've lost, but it was a lot. Okay. Janice says that Keto Chow has just introduced their core in large bags, but it's sweetened. So they don't have the unsweetened yet in large bags, I guess. Generic Jane likes the Keto Chow core. You can choose the unsweetened version to supplement her 100 grams or so of meat. Fair enough. Okay, so Janet, thank you for sharing this information. Her iodine test was from a lab located in Oregon. And she got the test kit from her pharmacy. So these comments will be up later. I did last week I had some trouble. It was my first live and I didn't know how to keep the comments. They disappeared after the live was over, but I got them back, figured out how to do that, and today I believe I have figured out the setting that keeps them there. So for those of you who want to do an iodine test like Janet has done, if you look through her, like look for her comment on where she got it. Or maybe what I'll do is I will copy and paste this into the description if I can figure out how to do that. Some of these things are new to me, so I do apologize. But thank you for sharing that. Would I consider coming up with some more carnivore flour bread recipes? Absolutely. I miss bread so much. I know a lot of people do miss bread being on carnivore, and you don't want the loaf made of ground beef type bread. So I do have a bread that is quite popular, made from bone broth powder and egg white powder. If that works for you, I can link that below and you know check it out and see if those ingredients work for you. So I'm in the Victoria, BC area on Vancouver Island, and yes, it's an up and down duplex basically. So there's various family members living here. There's kind of it's 2.5 stories, lots of room for all of us. Bonnie, thank you for telling me that it's a foghorn. Although there's no fog, is it? I don't know. It's what so here in BC, every time a ferry leaves the harbor, even if it's a sunny day, this thing sounds off. And it could maybe it is a foghorn. Um, Keith, how about WFPB? Sorry, I don't know what that is. If anyone knows, throw it in the comments. Where are we? We are at an hour. So I am going to look for some questions here with those. Okay, there's Danny. Once you get settled in, can we do a monthly challenge in the private group, hold us all accountable and supporting each other? Yes, once I get settled in. I kind of miss that for myself as well. Uh, yes, I'm seeing lots of things about the seagulls. Favorite brand of canned sardines packed in water? Well, I can only really get very limited ones here in Canada. I like the tiny sardines. So there is one, oh, I think it might be Millionaires. We can get Brunswick sardines here packed in water. So Judy, I think you're in the States, aren't you? You probably have a lot more choices than I have. I am enjoying the new home. It's been a lot of work because of all the little things that need to be done. It's an older home with tons of things that need to be done. Okay. Okay. Carmen is trying to let go of dairy and sweetener. It is a struggle. I agree 100%. Something in you still thinks you need a treat in the evening. I get that now and then too. Um, how do you get to the point of not craving? The longer that the sweet tastes are out of your system, and it's the same with when you quit carbs. It's the same thing. When you quit carbs, you go through a lot of cravings for the first couple weeks. It's hard. It's in fact it's hard for the first 30 days. I thought, and you still those old habits die hard. I don't know how long you've been without dairy and sweeteners, or if you're just still trying to let go of them. But it'll be the same kind of thing. Every time you let go of something that has, like I let go of nuts a couple of years ago. So it was hard the first month. Now I can take them or leave them. And it becomes the same thing. The longer you are from that date, you can take it or leave it. So it's time. It just takes time, and it just takes sticking with it. Let's see. Okay, so there's a couple of questions here that I've already answered, so I'm going to bypass those. A lot of you do have similar questions sometimes, so they're good questions. How are some questions appearing at the bottom of the live stream and others only in the chat? So when I see a question, that's why I was asking everybody to put the little question marks. When I see a question and I click on it, it will appear down at the bottom of the live stream. The ones that I don't click on don't appear, and so that's the answer there. And if I don't click on them, it's because I've already answered it. So I'm trying to get to ones that I have not answered. Okay, so I'm going to go really quickly through these. Is it safe to have Element if you are struggling with high blood pressure? I would feel better if you got the go ahead from your doctor. They're probably going to say that it's too high in sodium, but that's what they all say anyways. So, it's not really for like it the guidelines are not meant for people doing carnivore, so you're going to have to take it all with a grain of salt. But I'm not a doctor, and I don't want to advise anybody who has high blood pressure to go against what their doctor is saying. I would do some research, because on the if you research the amount of sodium we really need, it's high. As carnivores, it is higher than the average person. Okay. You cannot get Element on Switch Grocery, and Switch Grocery also is closing down for 3 to 6 months. If you go on their website, they talk about it. Okay, I'm just trying to get through, because I know I want to respect your time. Whole foods, plant-based. Okay, that was for the person who said, "What about WFPB?" I guess. Um, uh, I don't even know how to talk about plant-based because I don't eat plants. Okay. Da, 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 da. Oh, okay. So, question about keto chow again. You looked up the regular ingredients, milk, protein. Why wouldn't that be considered carnivore? It's from a cow. Okay. I think it's because of the other ingredients in it, like the sucralose and that sort of thing. I mean, there's also some gums and fibers which are plant based, so that is the reason. So, but again, um, you're not getting that kind of judgment from me. I mean, I will not say to people that you know I'm not that dogmatic. If it helps to get you through when you're new, then do it. If it goes against your idea of carnivore, then don't do it. I mean, that's really my answer to that. Or if you have an intolerance to anything in there. Since caffeine is a drug, did you have any headaches or side effects? Uh, I've tried to quit coffee in the past before, and yeah, I had major headaches and side effects, and I've heard that from other people. But this time, I think having COVID at the same time helped me. Like I was having coffee aversion along with my meat aversion when I had COVID. So that kind of helped me get rid of the coffee. I don't recommend getting COVID so you can get off coffee, though. It was not pleasant. Okay, I have reached the end of the comments, and I hope I've reached the end of the questions. I hope I have not missed any. Thank you so much. We've gone over by 7 minutes, so that's not so bad. I want to thank you guys so much for coming. And just like with anything else, all of these questions about keto chow and these questions about, element and can you have this and that, um, turn it around. Instead of saying, can I have this on carnivore? The question should be to yourself, can I tolerate this food on carnivore? And or keto or ketovore or low carb. To me, it's all about what you can eat and tolerate and get the results you want and feel good. So for me, if I was to ask somebody randomly who's a carnivore coach or something, can I have black pepper on carnivore? They'd probably say, well, it's not an animal, but sure. But for me, I absolutely 100% cannot have black pepper on carnivore or any other way of eating because I cannot tolerate black pepper. And so that is how I would encourage you to look at these things. If you're asking yourself, can I have this on carnivore? How do you feel? What is your goal? Do you have an autoimmune issue where these things could trigger that? So those are the sorts of things to be thinking about when you are asking yourself or asking other people, can I have this on carnivore? So always think about your health and your body first. That is the question to answer. So I hope that helps. And thank you so much to everybody who came. And those of you who came early and chatted amongst yourselves, and those of you who are even still here from that, thank you so much. And we'll see you guys again either in the next live chat or in one of my recipe videos. I've got one coming out tomorrow. So we'll see you guys soon. Thanks.